Where do you guys stand with the 100 men versus the silverback?
I think it's because I've seen it both ways. You know what? This is really great. Is it 100 men all at once versus the gorilla, or is it? I don't have it. Can you turn the thing up? Yeah. Check. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So is it 100 men all at once, or is it you got a one-on-one this gorilla
100 times?
100 times, and like maybe the 99th guy.
No, I envision
it's all at once, right?
I envision it all.
Yeah, and it's 100 men easily.
Do you?
It's 100. It's 100
you work
dudes.
with this guy.
Yeah, I know.
You think it's the gorilla?
What do you? Do I think it's the gorilla?
I think men are some of the stupidest goddamn people
No,
on the planet.
it's 100 men. You could put like 100 men versus an elephant, and I think 100 men would win.
No, you
It's 100 men. If they're all fighting the gorilla at once,
With what?
with what?
just punching them. It's like the rats question. It's like the rats question. No, it's like the rats question. You just,
God.
I don't think you guys have a concept of how many people 100 people
I
is.
know exactly how many 100 people.
Then why do you think that one gorilla is capable? Just look at the weight. It's like 200. Listen, they could all be skinny dudes, 150 pounds. A silverback gorilla is still only what, like 800, 900 pounds?
Have you seen the bite strength of a gorilla? Have you seen the arm strength of a gorilla?
Have you seen how many dudes 100 dudes is?
Yes, and they're all weak.
Says who?
Says me.
It's the average individual, is it not?
No.
They could be a little sickly. They could be like a
I
bunch
want
of
you to hear
5'9",
something.
150. Okay,
A
go ahead.
silverback gorilla can throw up to 1,800 pounds, the equivalent of 13 humans.
Great. So let him throw the first 13 humans, and then the other 87 are going to beat the brakes off of that gorilla.
You are out of your mind,
Yeah,
dude.
No, people are going to agree with me on this.
No, they're not. You're gonna be roasted. You sound dumb.
I've seen gorillas. I've seen 100
sound
people.
dumb.
You sound like an idiot. Not in a rude way.
This is nuts.
Not in a rude way.
This is nuts.
Thank you for prefacing that.
We have so much to get to today.
We're trying to be helpful to you and let you know that, hey, buddy, it's okay, but you sound dumb. Just keep that to yourself.
There's
You know?
first of all,
You know what?
there's no recovery in shame. And you shaming me for this makes you the bad person.
what, Isaac?
Second of all,
Isaac, you know what? You can join the 99 other people who's going to fight this gorilla. You and all 99 unemployed.
I'll take
people.
those chances.
Yeah,
because
and you're going to die.
it's still.
And your wife's going to be sad. and
Listen,
she's gonna be sad
I'm not
because you're
saying that
pregnant
like
because
I
you're
want
tiny.
to. I'm just saying that if it was for like $1 million,
Yeah.
and the gorillas,
Yes.
the gorilla's
Yeah.
gonna kill like 20 out of the 100, while the other 80 dudes curb stomp that gorilla.
They will not. They will
Curb
not.
stomp a gorilla.
Curb stomp the gorilla.
And not curb stomp a
Let's
gorilla.
wrap this up.
Yeah.
And you need to leave this in because
I will, but
the
I'm
people, the
embarrassed.
dozen
Look at
listeners
you.
are going to agree with me.
The people need to understand.
The people need to know. All right. Welcome to the house. Episode Gorilla. I
Gorilla.
can't remember, 39 or something.
We're getting up there.
If you need homeless or at-risk youth services, including but not limited to behavioral health treatment, you can take it to my house, 300 North Willow Street in downtown Wasilla. Bryan, the Gorilla Stand Fields.
Don't call me
is
that.
here. You're standing for the gorilla. You are going to bat for this gorilla, and I don't care what gorilla you got. It's not taking 100 dudes, but that's not what we're talking about
That's
today.
not
Because
what
you
we're
were gone. You were gone in Florida last week.
Yes.
How was Florida?
It was amazing, hot, so hot, but it's super, super awesome.
Yeah, good to hear. And while you were gone, we had a bunch of stuff happen.
Yeah.
So we need to get to all of it. And I feel like the thing that you're probably most in tune with would be, and the thing that happened the longest ago was NFL draft, and the Raiders take your guy.
Ashton Dutty, boy. I was like, there was so many reports coming out that that the Jacksonville Jaguars were going to take him, that the Raiders were going to overthink it and take a tackle and like all of this stuff, dude. And like, I'm just so glad that they didn't overthink it and they seen what could be a generational talent and just said, yeah, this is our guy. Let's go get this guy. And I had a feeling when Spytek, the GM himself solo went to Ashton Genty's pro day, it was like, I felt like that was the final confirmation of, yeah, this is our guy. Yes, it was a deep running back class, but everybody in the NFL will tell you, yeah, those running backs are good, but they're not Ashton Genty.
Well, and it was the
rightful Heisman winner, by the way.
This is the first time that a running back's been selected this high since Saquon, right? Am I remembering that correctly? It's one of yeah. I mean, it's a big deal.
It's a big deal. He's
but
now
he's
like
a generational talent.
He's the third highest paid running back in the NFL right now, coming into his rookie
which
season.
Is crazy. Which is crazy.
These guys, dude.
I'm just glad that this year in our fantasy football draft,
yeah,
I know I'm prepared for who the Raiders' first round pick is, and I will not have a situation where I get Brock Bowers swooped out from under me because I wasn't paying attention.
You think that Brock Bowers is going to get dropped?
I don't know. Well, no, I'm saying that I'm not going to let you pick Ashton Genty before me just because I don't know who he is.
Gotcha.
And Ashton Genty, I mean,
yeah, I hear.
It's an unknown.
Yeah,
and we're well away from fantasy football season, but pretty high. You got to be thinking about taking him early, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's a chance that you can steal away like top RB1 early in this draft just because he's unknown. I
don't know that he would have. I don't know that he would have made it past. I could see. I don't know, the Panthers really needed a wide receiver. I think they reached for their wide receiver. They could have traded back for sure.
Yeah.
Alvin Kamara is getting older, so I could see him going 9. I could 1,000% see him going 10, 12. So there wasn't like an opportunity to really chance that and not get that guy.
Mm-hmm.
And I think like for me, like what was so exciting is like the Raiders just like they didn't reach. Like, even though I wanted them to, the only thing I'm disappointed in is that they didn't draft Shedeur Sanders.
So, okay, let's talk about that because that's the biggest story. I want to talk
about Jack Besh.
Okay, fine, go ahead.
Who is he's a dog, dude. Just a dog from TCU that just like is a gritty player that like the Raiders desperately need. They need that toughness, and he matches well with Jacoby Myers, who also has that gritty toughness where it's like I'll run into you and block you just because I want to hit somebody type of deal, right? And the Raiders need that. They want to be physical. They want to run the ball, and so you need those type of wide receivers. You don't need a prima donna Devontae Adams over there like, I didn't get the ball. I got to get out of here. I'm going to die. Like, shut up, bro. Play the game. You know how many times I watch you drop the ball and you're supposed to be this like Hall of Fame wide receiver? Like, I get it. Your situation sucked.
Yeah.
But like sitting there throwing a fit on the sideline ain't doing nothing about it either. And then they beef up, and they traded back and got more picks so that they were able to beef up the offensive line, get another prototype Pete Carroll cornerback, 6'3", 195 pounds out of Iowa State, was a wide receiver, transitioned to cornerback this year. You know who else did that? Your guy.
Jackson Smith and Jigba?
Oh, you ding dong. Richard Sherman.
Yeah.
So I'm like absolutely impressed with what the Raiders did in this draft. I think they did a phenomenal job.
What do you give them grade wise?
I give them an A.
Okay.
I give them an A. I give them A minus just because like I see that like the reason why I think they passed on him is because I don't think Shedeur was the type of guy that they wanted in the building.
Yeah. So I do want to talk a little bit, just really touch on the Seahawks, obviously, but Shedeur, 5th round, the story of this draft, the prank call.
Brutal, dude.
Crazy. We can't even really talk. It's old news at this point, but that's nuts.
It is nuts.
And then Shedeur drops all the way to the 5th round, in my mind, based off of the perception of his off-field persona.
Yep.
He, more than his Was he a first round pick? Like without all the hype?
I don't think
maybe not.
Yeah.
But him falling to the 5th round is
insane.
really an indication of what I believe teams think of him off the field.
Yeah. Well, when you show up and you're just like, I'm legendary. If you want me to fix your franchise, like he came in with this attitude of like, you need me, I don't need you. You know what I mean? And like teams don't like that. But like the part that gets me is you took some terrible quarterbacks
Before
him.
Right.
Like you're not going to tell me that Dylan Gabriel, and then you end up drafting him anyways, which is like, what?
He joins the Browns
What I think
16
happened
strong QB room.
I think that the Browns wanted Kirk Cousins, and that's why they ended up trading back, passing, but Kirk Cousins has made it very clear that he doesn't want to play for a team that drafts a quarterback because he's a sensitive sissy.
Happened to him.
Yeah. So I think they drafted Dylan Gabriel, and he was like, all right, I'm out. And so they're like, ooh. Wait, we don't want Dylan Gabriel to be a starter, or Kenny Pickett, or Joe Flacco.
How about the view of the Browns war room after
when
that
they
pick?
when they picked him? They're just like, and they made an emphasis to tell him like, yeah, we told him nothing's been earned. You got to work for it. Like, like, come on,
you
man.
guys.
You have Deshaun Watson under contract. Don't start talking about anybody's character.
We've got
right
a
now.
really good culture here. At
Yeah.
the Cleveland Browns. You think Justin Tucker signs with the Browns now?
Oh, that's so bad, dude.
Just yeah.
Would you have rather had Milroe or Sanders?
On field, Sanders.
Yeah.
But clearly, there is some concerns from the offices. And you know what? Kudos to the Raiders for not drafting Shedeur Sanders, because them drafting him in like the 3rd round or something sounds like exactly the type of terrible culture move the Raiders would generally make.
Yeah, for sure. And that's the only reason like I'm not super mad about it. But I think if anybody could have got the best out of character wise, like be a team player, it would have been Pete Carroll. You know what I mean, I think he could have, and
that doesn't mean that Shedeur Sanders becomes a great character guy. I mean, DK Metcalf isn't a great character guy, but Pete Carroll got the best out of him.
Yeah, but look how he acted, Pete Carroll.
Oh,
100%. Pete Carroll.
100%. I'm just saying he wasn't an angel when Pete Carroll was there either. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but
sure.
I agree with what you said. I'm pretty happy with the Seahawks choice.
Yeah,
I gotta say, I think a lot of folks in the articles I read gave him an A. I would have given him an A2. 1st round pick, the offensive line factory of North Dakota State. Just you get Gray Zabel, and love that. Not gonna pretend like I know a ton about Gray Zabel.
Yeah.
But just I wanted to see him get help on the line.
He's
I wanted
a big
to see him
boy
help.
He is. That could play tackle.
Yes.
You know what I mean? 6'6", 312 pounds. Like,
yeah. Then you get safety in the 2nd round. Your first pick that isn't like your 2 biggest gaps, which in my mind are your defense still needs some help. Your offensive line's terrible. You address both those things your first 2 pick. Then the biggest hole you probably have, like offensive weapons wise, I'd say it'd be the tight end position. So you get a tight end.
I didn't love the tight end they got though.
Yeah, I mean, kind of seemed like, I don't know. It's a 3rd round pick. Like the NFL draft is crazy because how often do these guys actually pan out? Like,
yeah.
So really past the first 2 rounds, I'm not going to even pretend like I know any of these guys or think that they could have some major impact in the lineup. But if a couple of them pan out, like great. And I think you went out there and got the biggest holes filled. Yeah. So happy with that. Do you have anything else draft wise that's noteworthy that we should mention before we move on?
I really, fantasy football wise, really like the idea of Omarion Hampton going to the Chargers. I think that is going to be a phenomenal fit for him. I also really like what Cleveland did, even though they're doing a weird QB carousel thing where they're just like, we're going to throw QBs at it till we get a productive starter, which at the end of the day, they're like, at some point you got to do, right? Like you haven't had a franchise QB forever.
They really are just using the shotgun method of quarterback.
Yeah.
I mean, let's throw all this spaghetti at the wall and maybe we'll have one QB noodle left standing by the end of this season.
And I think people are calling Jacksonville crazy, But I think that Jacksonville needs like a high energy, like get me a big play, spark the offense type of player. Like Brian Robinson is that guy too, but you need something else other than that, and they haven't had that. And something that can get the fans excited. I thought it was a bold move by the first-year GM for Jacksonville.
I do actually have one more highlight of the draft. Green Bay finally picks a wide receiver with their first pick.
Yeah.
In Green Bay.
Yeah.
Did you see the shots of the crowd? Okay, yeah.
It was electric.
That's a total like fan please pick, but why not, dude? And that's a potential really good pick as well.
The last thing that I'll mention is if Jackson Dart pans out, the New York Giants had a phenomenal draft. The question is does he pan out? I don't think that he does.
Yeah.
I'm just not
Under
seeing
the
it.
tutelage of Russell Wilson.
I'm just not seeing it.
Yeah.
Like he's not very mobile. He's not super accurate.
Jackson Dart, more like Jackson Fart.
Oh my God, you're a child.
Yeah, Ozzy feels that. Ozzy gets that one. Okay, let's move on to let's do NHL bracket next. Okay. So our brackets, we've ensured that we're going to have a tied bracket at the end of everything. Your pick of the Jets almost blows up in your face.
Yeah.
After you saw that they were up 2-0, the Blues immediately even this series. They are up 3-1 with 2 minutes left. I don't know if you saw this, but I was working Wolverines game 3, and right as that game gets done, the Jets with 2 minutes left score to make it 3-2. They tie the game with 1.6 seconds left on the clock.
Yeah.
And then the game goes to double overtime, and the Jets managed to eke out a win. They were playing 5 defensemen the entire game. Morrissey goes down early, and like I think it was Neil Pionk played like 40 minutes or something like that. Just unbelievable game. Great finish. Love Game 7. That's what makes the playoffs great. In bad Game 7 news, another team that was
what was crazy is when that's what I was just about to say. Like I looked and they were up 2-0, and I was like, oh, okay, cool. And then I look again, and it's like
the Avs have
lose
not
4-2.
So one of those was an empty netter. So really, it's 3-2. But I don't know if I'm more upset that I didn't get to watch the game. So that game was going on during Game 2 of the Wolverines.
Yeah, and
the Wolverines game went into overtime. So I was going to be able to end the broadcast, watch the second half of the third period. Might be a good thing that I didn't.
Yeah,
because game goes into overtime. I'm calling it. There's a stoppage in play. I look behind me. I have like all the stats pulled up for the Wolverines game, right? So I can talk about them on the broadcast. My laptop was just the Avs game. And I'm like, we're up 2-0. And then calling the game, turn around. You don't need the backstory, but I'll give it to you anyway. The Wisconsin Wendigo play in the first indoor hockey rink in the state of Wisconsin that was ever built in the state of Wisconsin. It was built in 1933. Yeah. So it's not conducive for doing an internet broadcast. Yeah. So I literally had like my laptop on the stands, and I was standing essentially a little bit elevated, but in the front row with all the Wendigo crowd around me, calling this game. So the game's in front of me. I have to keep turning around underneath this giant wooden tower. Turn around, it's 2-2. Then I turn around, it's 3-2. And then I turned around and the game was over. And I was like, great. Well, I can't even be angry about this. Got to keep watching the game that I'm getting paid to work at. So,
oh, man.
The thing that really nail in the coffin is Mikko Rantanen has 4 points apiece in the last 2 games after the Avalanche told him to kick rocks without giving him a final chance at a contract offer. And I stood behind that being the right decision at the time. Doesn't make me feel any better right now. And I kind of wish I could stab my previous self in the face and tell him to just shut the hell up.
Shut it down.
It doesn't feel good. I hate the Dallas Stars. I have always hated the Dallas Stars. This is another reason for me to hate the Dallas Stars even more. Go Jets. The Stars are going to, I think, abuse the Winnipeg Jets. And it's not going to be close. Another crazy start. This first round of the NHL playoffs was insane.
Yeah.
The LA Kings, you remember me telling you, they've lost to the Edmonton Oilers 3 times straight in the first round, 3 years back to back to back.
Yep.
Well, now it's back to back to back to back because after
ridiculous.
being up by 2 games to none, the Oilers made them
Is that coaching?
Yes, it is 100% coaching.
Yeah.
And let me tell you the moment that it changed. In the NHL, you can challenge for goaltender interference. If you get the challenge wrong, it's a power play. The Kings are up 2 games to none. There is a play that they review for a kick. Wasn't a kick. The Oilers scored to tie the game. They then reviewed for goaltender interference, which hindsight's 2020. I think I would have said in the moment, there is not a lot of goaltender interference going on there. And anytime you challenge for goalie interference, you're taking a chance because who knows how the officials interpret it, right?
Yeah.
Well, they don't get the call. You know, it was a tie hockey game. You could have played a tie hockey game. They challenge. They don't get the call. Edmonton's on the power play. The commentary team goes, well, the Kings coaching staff, this shows that they have a lot of faith in their penalty kill. As they say that, the Oilers off the center ice faceoff, break it into the zone, backdoor tap in, goal. Edmonton wins that game. They do not lose the rest of the series.
Oh my God.
It is one of those moments where you don't get this a lot in sports, but it's just one of those where you point at it and go, that's him, officer. That's the culprit right
the
there.
Guy, yeah.
So Edmonton, a deeply flawed hockey team, moves on to play the Vegas Golden Knights, who were challenged more by the Wild than I think I gave them credit for, but moved on in 6 games.
Yeah.
That's going to be a great series. Edmonton, Vegas.
I think in the playoffs, anything can happen, right? So
100%. I do think Vegas is the more complete team. That was my pick to beat the Kings. It would still be my pick to beat the Oilers.
I'm just really sad that I'm not going to get to like prance around the office and just like throw stuff in your face.
No, yeah, it's unfortunate. I kind of am pulling for Vegas now, to be honest with you. Yeah. But I will say my Eastern Conference, 100% correct. Leafs beat the Sens in 6 games, despite Leafs Nation having an absolute meltdown after they lost Game 5 4-0. The Hurricanes beat the Devils, just like I told you they would. The Caps took care of business in Montreal, and then Florida really got past Tampa way quicker than I thought that they would. Yeah. So you've got Leafs, Panthers. Leafs are up 1-0 there, and Caps, Hurricanes is going on as we speak. Hopefully we'll get a pretty good second round. That was, especially on the Western Conference side, that was a fantastic first round of the playoffs. NBA-wise, where do you want to start NBA-wise, Brian?
I'm just really proud of the Golden State Warriors.
They say Lakers in 5. They don't say whether the Lakers win in 5.
Do you remember me saying at the beginning of the series that JJ Redick looked outcoached?
I remember you saying that. I remember your concerns about Luka. I remember you had a lot of anxiety throughout the second half of this season, and your instincts were correct.
I think everybody wanted to crown them a contender, and I just knew that they weren't a complete team. It's very interesting to me. Like, I don't know where they go from here either. Like, sure, you get a big man, but I just don't know that. I got to see more from Luka, man. Like, you're supposed to be like, you shouldn't be in a series when before this trade, you're regarded as one of the best players in the NBA, and the best player on that court every single night was Anthony Edwards, other than the last game in Game 5. And so super disappointed. JJ Redick made history in the absolute worst way ever. First coach in NBA history to not sub a single player in the entire second half. Was it the second half? Maybe it was the fourth quarter. I think it was the fourth quarter.
Crazy. What's the definition of insanity?
No, it was the entire second half.
Oh my gosh. What's the definition of insanity?
And then also I said that Rudy Gobert is going to be a difference maker in this series, and he was all series long. Like, we were getting out rebounded. They were being more physical than us. And then when we needed it the most, he decides to play small ball and refuses to play Jackson Hayes, who didn't have a good start to his series, but I think he was way too impatient with Jackson Hayes and left us super undersized. And the Lakers were at their best during the season when they had a 5 on the floor. And so what does Rudy Gobert do that game? Goes off for 27 and like 15, dude. Like he hasn't scored over 20 in like 3 years. I don't even know. I'm going to implode here in a minute. Cause for me, there was winnable games that you gave away continuously based on bad calls by JJ. And I don't feel that there's enough. He hasn't gotten enough credit for this series loss, like at all. And it was just so bad. And it was hard to watch. He was super wound up. He was emotional. He was reactive. And the results are there. And I mean, shout out Anthony Edwards, who had a phenomenal series, but I think the Lakers beat themselves, and it started with the coaching.
So you could still have a better bracket than me based off of how these upcoming rounds play out.
Yeah.
But my crummy basketball takes landed me rate of, I got 7 out of 8 correct in the first round, and the Lakers were the only one I got fooled on.
Yeah. I got fooled by the Clippers.
Yeah.
In Clippers
I thought the Nuggets weren't going to be able to do it. I thought that I was very wrong, but
in Clippers defense, you go to a game 7, right?
Mm-hmm.
You this is win or go home, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hold on, let me pull this up real quick. James Harden, one of your all-stars, 2 for 8 field goals, 1 for 4 from 3-point. He put up 7 points in a game 7.
Sounds like a mentality issue. James Harden wouldn't have had those complaints levied against him in the past about how he's.
No, this has been a reoccurring theme for James Harden.
Exactly.
Like, yes. And he keeps blaming his team, and like at some point.
Yeah, no, it's not my fault that I played like garbage. It's everyone around me.
Yeah, dude.
Extreme ownership, James.
At some point, man, like you got to take some accountability here and just be like, I have to be better. And it was super interesting in the post-game press conference. Like, what do you take? They were asking Kawhi, like, what do you take from here? And like, that gives you confidence that you guys can play good together with this unit. And he was just like, I don't know. It's a hard question to answer right now. Because I'm sure if I was Kawhi Leonard and I just put my body on the line in a game 7 and I look over and the number 2 dude is putting up 7 points and only
then blaming everyone else.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. I'm like, yeah, dude, you got to go.
Yeah.
You got to go. And you're consistently turning the ball over on top of that against a Denver team that will pounce on mistakes, as shown in game 1 versus the Thunder when the Thunder didn't foul up 3. So, yeah.
Yeah, that was I thought I was going to be very wrong, and I somehow
you should have been.
Not. I absolutely should have been.
It's not all on James Harden, but he definitely didn't help. You know what I mean?
No. The Clippers were up 2 games to 1, and I thought I was in trouble, and then that game 4 win is, I mean, crazy.
Yeah,
that was nuts.
Yeah.
And Jokic just like looks so. Did you see that shot of him on the sideline?
Bro, he's the coach right now.
Yeah.
He's the coach.
Yeah.
And
I don't know if they make it past OKC this round, but that was.
I mean, they're up 1-0.
They're up 1-0.
They're up 1-0, and so here's what's going to get them is if OKC can continue to make rookie mistakes, then they'll win that series.
Yeah, 100%.
If OKC can take it on the chin, which like it felt like the coach did. He said, nope, that's 100% on me, why we didn't foul up 3. As far as the players, like they're doing an excellent job of doing what I am telling them to do.
Man, so he took accountability?
Yeah.
And that...
Unlike JJ, who freaking threw a fit because they were like, this dude asked him, is before game 5, they were like, hey, did you maybe do you think about like consulting your assistant coaches before you make a decision, such as like not subbing out the players? And do you reflect on that? And what does that look like? And JJ's like, are you saying that because I'm inexperienced? Is that a shot at me being inexperienced?
And then I'm really sensitive about this thing, so I'm going to overcompensate by getting angry with you about it.
And then throws the mic down and walks out. How he still has a job is mind-blowing to me because I've seen coaches fired for way less.
Anything in the East, I think Cavs, there weren't any surprises there, really, in my mind. Cavs move on, Pacers move on, Knicks move on, Boston moves on.
I thought I was going to be wrong in the Pacers-Bucks series when Dame came back, and then just such an unfortunate ending of him tearing his Achilles.
Yeah.
And
that really
really sucks, man. We're at the end of a generation for NBA. I know you're not an NBA fan, but it's like KD's getting older, Steph's getting older, LeBron's a grandpa. Like,
yeah. Well, it is all these guys that like I do know, and they're all
Dame time is over, you know. So it's like, it was crushing, and it's going to be interesting to see. I'm very interested in the offseason what the Bucks do with Giannis and what the Heat do.
Might have played his last game in Milwaukee.
The Heat look like they got to be kicking themselves, dude.
Yeah, and Boston. So now we're into the second round. Boston up by 20 yesterday. At one point in the third quarter. Yeah. And of all teams, the Knicks are the ones not choking away the lead, and it's Boston that's punishing them. Like, I feel like it's Freaky Friday.
But the Knicks they're a gritty team. You can't give it, like, you have to keep your foot on their throat is the thing with the Knicks, because, like, they will not give up. And that is a well-coached team, you know what I mean? Like, and Jalen Brunson is just an absolute dog. And I feel bad for ever thinking that he was not going to be I didn't think he would be what he is. I thought he was too small. I thought he would get outplayed, but he can be physical. He's fast. It'll be interesting to see what like the end of his career looks like, because I don't know how that matches up like towards, you know, when he's outside. Are you trying to give me a gummy? Is
Ozzy's that a gusher? Trying to feed. The episode's been going on for so long that Ozzy's offering catering services halfway through. I'll have it here. Yeah, throw it.
You got to catch it.
Throw it. No, it's a sports podcast.
Too expensive.
Let's see some athleticism over here.
He said they're too expensive.
You want one, Brian?
I feel you. I'm good. Thank you, though.
Okay. I'm not going to chew into the mic. Go ahead and finish your point.
I really hope that the Knicks beat the Celtics, because we all know that I hate the Celtics. And I would be so mad if the Lakers got bounced in round one and then the Celtics end up going up on the Lakers.
And then they'd be two championships ahead of you, right?
Ahead of us. Yeah,
right.
Man.
Yeah, truly the better team, the Boston Celtics.
Do you like that laptop?
It's a work one. So what happens. Hopefully it's insured. I don't know.
Fair enough.
Okay. One last bit. It's been a long episode, but the NHL, not the draft, but the draft lottery was just a couple of days ago when we were recording this. So the New York Islanders finished, I guess, 22nd best in the league, which is 10th worst, but they had a chance of making the playoffs. I mean, they weren't that far out. They were still fighting for a playoff spot the last month of the season. They had I looked it up so I could make sure I had it right. They had a 3.5% chance of ending up with the first overall pick. And for the sixth time in NHL history, the New York Islanders will have the first overall pick in the 2025 NHL draft.
This is why I hate the lottery.
And sorry, I'm incorrect. This is why I made sure I had my facts right. It's the fifth time in franchise history that they will be picking first overall. Only the Montreal Canadiens have drafted more times first in NHL history. So not only are they going from 10th to first overall pick, they also...
That's so trash.
The rich get richer.
That's so trash.
And they're a fringe playoff team. So, Brian, what is your take on this situation?
I think the lottery is stupid. I think it's ridiculous. Like, I love the way that the NFL draft is, like, record, boom, here you go. Right? Like, I get, like, teams tank anyways. Even if it's a lottery. It happens in the NBA all the time where they tank so that their chances increase. You know what I mean? And I just think when it ends up being like that, like, to me, that shows you that the system's broken, because now, like, a team that really needs that player is not going to get that player.
I did not realize. I knew it was possible to move up for any team that's not in the playoffs, right? I didn't actually realize that the team that finished 10th worst still even had a chance at the first overall pick.
That's
until
crazy.
this happened.
That's insanity, dude.
Honestly, if I'm being 100% with you, I thought that it was limited to the bottom 4 teams until I watched the draft lottery.
Yeah. That would make more sense. Like even that, like
I'm fine
that
with
would make
teams
more sense
moving
because
up.
that would less incentivize tanking.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
I agree. I agree with you. Like I think it's okay for there to be some movement, like because there's a lot of factors that go into a season and your record. Sometimes it's not just being a bad team. Sometimes it's injuries. Sometimes it's, whatever.
Yeah.
So I don't think you have to stick to a very like a perfectly rigid system, how the NFL does it.
Yeah.
But this feels morally wrong.
Yeah, for
to
sure.
me. This feels like an injustice has occurred.
Absolutely. And I don't know though. Like I just like it that, I like it. It's just, this is what it is, right? Like I'm not leaving anything up to chance. Like I'm not putting my franchise up to chance. You know what I mean? Like I get that it probably makes like the draft order more exciting. So for me, like it's a publicity gig. Like it's just like, let me get some more views.
Yeah. How about the Utah Hockey Club, who had a 94.8% chance of landing the number 14 pick, are now picking number 4?
That's disgusting.
Is that too much? Would you say that's too much movement as well?
Yeah, dude, that's disgusting, man. Like, what are we even doing? So, like, how does, and then, I don't know. I could go on forever because then it just like opens the door of like, is this more of like, you tell us these things, but it's like we want these players going to certain teams, like that whole conspiracy with the NBA where it's like Lucas to save the NBA.
Yeah.
Like, I just think that's ridiculous, right? Like, how do the other teams even compete when it's like, I suck. My team sucks. And here I am picking after these guys that aren't as bad.
The Seattle Kraken finished 6th worst and dropped 2 spots. So, unfortunate that was the case. Matty Schaefer probably going to be on the island next season. Next year is really going to be the draft that I think everyone tanks hard for, but we'll see. Had to cover a lot of ground there.
Yeah, that was a lot.
Now we're caught up. Second round of hockey. Oh, I almost forgot. So really quick before we go, my mom got me a new shirt, and it's perfect because even though the Mariners have been,
this guy is
fantastic. They lost yesterday in extra innings to the Athletics. So this is a shirt, and I like wearing it under my jersey, and it's the Mariners trident, and it says, maybe next year. Maybe next year.
I doubt it.
Probably not this year.
I doubt it.
I don't care if the Mariners are first in the American League West. You can't trick me this time. I know you're going to collapse in July. You can't fool me. Cal Raleigh does have the most home runs in the MLB right now. Big Dumpy laying big thumpies right now.
Oh, no.
More thumpers from Big Dumper.
Oh, no.
Give it to me. So,
No.
Also, I will publicly fill out the Jorge Polanco apology form because I talked a lot of crap last year, and then at the start of this year, I talked about how management was incompetent for bringing him back and having him play third base, and he has a chance at being the American League MVP.
That.
He's unbelievable right now. So lots of great individual performances from the Mariners, but I still don't believe in you. I never will. Till I see an X by your name in the standings. You can't get one by me this time.
That'll be the worst.
Not this year. Then I won't be insufferable because it's not going to happen. So even when we're battling against gorillas, sports still bring us together.
Yeah.
Y'all are crazy for that take. We'll see you next time on To The House.